Sex stands for sexual energy exchange. That means whenever you have sex with somebody, whatever is inside of them goes into you as far as energy. So if that person have emotional backed up trauma and you have sex with them, now you have emotional backed up trauma. If that person have diseases or STDs, sexually transmitted demons, now you have a disease and an STD, sexually transmitted demons. And the more you have sex with that person, the stronger y'all soul tie become. So that's why you don't need to keep having sex with people you're not physically, spiritually, and emotionally attracted to, because then it turns into a trauma bond. And when y'all watching stuff like this, there's no secret energy exchange with nothing physically, spiritually, or emotionally. You ain't even connected with nobody. You just letting the energy out of you. That's why when you release, you feel bad and sad, because you just release energy with no connection. So start taking who you connect with seriously, because it could fuck you up in the long run.
He's not lying. There's just so much more that goes into the physical act of sex than I think we realize. Let's get into it.
Your Kundalini energy is the most powerful energy that you have within you. We have been told a lie that our sexual energy is evil, it is scary, it is something to avoid. But really, this is the energy that connects us to God. When we begin to connect back to our temple, our body, we can begin to access this powerful energy that is within us that we can use to be able to heal ourselves and heal others and elevate ourselves and elevate the world around us. So learn to tap into this divine, feminine, divine sexual energy so that you can become fully who you are supposed to be in this world.
So if this sexual energy that we experience is our life force energy, our creatorship energy, then this is a massive undertaking that we're experiencing when we have sex, not only with others, but with ourselves. It's so important for us to understand what's actually happening on a spiritual, energetic level when it comes to having sex. One way that I like to describe wrapping your mind around the fact that there is a spiritual, energetic world that exists in this reality is thinking of it like a spectrum. On the densest level, we have our bodies, which we can perceive with our five senses. And on the finest level, we've got our energy and our spirit and our emotional body and these things that we can't perceive with our five senses, but that still exist and that actually affect how we feel on a physical level. So what this video is about is exploring what happens on the finer end of the spectrum when we have sex or masturbation. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Amanda Haynes. If you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up if you'd like to experience more content like this. Also, if you're guided to, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like the vibe and would like to join the tribe. So what I really want to know is what happens to two people's energy when we have sex?
Sex is a spiritual expression. You feel me? And things can disturb the spirit if they're strong enough. And someone's sex, if strong enough, can disturb your spirit. Whatever work you was doing, whatever proof you had about yourself, can be tossed out just like that because of what they was able to do to you. Wow. And a lot of people don't understand the spiritual space they take up in the bedroom. You feel me? So it's like, yeah, I trust you to get into it, but can I trust you with what comes from it? And sometimes the answer is no. And for like me, like I ain't saying I'm gonna be the best this. I know my spiritual presence in the bedroom is strong. If I do too much to a woman too early and I don't know what she gonna be like down the road, that could be detrimental.
He made such an important point when he mentioned, can I trust you with what comes from sex? Because on the outside, someone can look so put together, but you don't know what type of trauma they're carrying around. Not only trauma from this lifetime, but ancestral trauma, emotional baggage, energetic ties with other people, them carrying around their trauma. It's almost like an infinite loop that interconnects so many energies. And so we just have to be so diligent with who we're sharing our sacred energy with. I like how he mentioned having sex with someone can disturb our spirit. I think it's important for us to pay attention to whether our spirit is disturbed or enhanced just in the presence of someone alone, and especially when it comes to sex. Paying attention to what happens after you masturbate. Do you feel energized and revitalized, renewed, or do you feel drained and disturbed? We'll talk about that too.
This is a message that was meant to find you, so stick the fuck around so I can speak some truth into you. Did you know that sexual energy exchange, aka life force energy, is so fucking powerful? For those of you that are out there just doing your thing and having fun and not even realizing, when you are exchanging that energy with someone, you can be unknowingly receiving their baggage, their trauma, and sometimes it's the reason why you can't fucking leave and you feel stuck, like you don't know what the fuck's going on. That is life force energy. That connection and energy exchange is how we, as the divine feminine, bring in souls into this physical reality. So be mindful of who you're fucking and sucking, okay?
I thought it was super interesting that she mentioned feeling stuck to someone, or like you can't really get them out of your reality, even if they're not physically there. Like, have y'all ever experienced not being able to get somebody out of your head when there's like no interest in them at all? They just kind of like stick around and linger. That is because there has been an energetic exchange. There has been some sort of bond that has been created on an energetic level when you have sex with someone. Super important. This is just super important stuff. But she's right. This sexual energy that we have is our life force energy. It's our creatorship energy. It's how we bring souls into the world. It's how we create things on this material plane. And so this energy is used not only through physical sexual activity, but through any activity in which we're creating something. That is where the power comes from. It comes from this energy. This energy is the power of creation.
Sexual energy, if you remain here, they have to change to something. Sexual energy cannot stay there long. They have to change to something. You remain them down here, what are they going to change to? Waiting for something to activate them, that right? So what can activate them? Temptation, sexual desire, or the sex advertising, or the pornography, or the sex media. This is what they want to take your sexual energy out and get your business. But the sexual energy, you can transform that. Now, up to the heart center, testicle, organ breathing, prostate gland, uterus, gland penis.
I'm so glad they had subtitles for that. But I get what he's saying. So what I'm gathering is that this feeling that we get, this feeling of being aroused, that happens in the genital region on a physical level. On an energetic level, this would be our chakra system. So our lowest energy center, our root chakra. So we get this feeling and we feel like we need to release it somehow. So we get this feeling of being aroused, whether it's because we're watching porn or because we're with someone that we're attracted to. There's something that sparks this feeling that we have. And from there, this feeling that we're experiencing, this energy that's being created, doesn't want to stay in the root long. It doesn't want to stay in the genital area long, which is why when it does, we experience frustration or irritability. So we want to do something with this energy. We either want to expel it via orgasm or ejaculation, or we want to move the energy up the energy centers, up our chakra system, in order to create from a different energy center. So the creation of life starts in the root chakra and moves up to our sacral chakra, which is where the uterus, the ovaries, all of the things are. So that energy is still moving up. And if we don't create life from that space and we don't release it through orgasm or ejaculation, then we allow that energy to rise. And then we start creating from these energy centers, which is how, and they talk about it a lot in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's called sexual transmutation, which is what he's explaining in this video. It's that we start to create from these different energy centers. And that could be anything. You're utilizing that sexual energy to create from that space, but allowing that energy to rise. And I think it's really interesting that he was emulating the thrusting movement in this video, because I think that's really key to transmuting that energy. And it just so happens to be the same thrusting movement that we experience during intercourse. So I thought that that was an interesting thing too. So now I want to talk about what masturbation does or doesn't do for us on an energetic level.
It's not because I feel like I'm better than nobody. I know the power that it gives me. Like, when you meet men, you can see, I meet men that release every day, all day, and they drain. Their brain don't have the cognitive function that my brain has. They not as strong. I'm talking about emotionally, their emotions be in total disarray because you can spread your energy, spread yourself too thin with all these different women, you know, and our semen contains consciousness. So you place your consciousness everywhere.
Do you ever release? Or you just never release? You just
If I need to release, your body gonna do it automatically. Your body just gonna release.
it ain't like teasing. It's like, oh, you probably so mentally.
No,
Should be teasing
what
me.
you do is it's called sexual transmutation. Like when I wake up with, they got something called morning wood.
Yeah.
I don't just grab a sock and shoot it in a sock. I take that energy from that and jump straight out of bed and put it into my workout. Or put it into my music or put it into something that's gonna make me greater. Like sex transmutation. Translate that sexual energy into your craft.
I was just gonna say like
A lot of people that get injured, like when you play sports, like a lot of people that get injured and stuff like that. Like I noticed since he got me doing Pilates. I noticed since I had been like on my yoga journey, I had no injuries, and I noticed that
like flexibility type.
yeah, and I noticed that since I haven't been releasing, my recovery is like ASAP. It almost makes you God-like.
That's so interesting that he said it almost makes you godlike. So the power of this energy, this life force energy that exists within us, is the power to create worlds. And we're over here just expelling it willy-nilly. We just don't even realize the power that we're wielding. It's like Thor not recognizing the power of his weapon, whatever that thing was, and just wielding it around, having no clue the power with which we were endowed with. It's interesting stuff. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I want to know what y'all think. Drop a comment below and let us know if any of this resonated with you. Go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and would like to experience more content like this. Also, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you like the vibe and want to join the tribe. Share this video with anybody that you think needs it, which is like everybody. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.